Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoy.
I had about an hour's ride each way. After putting on Audible, I pulled off, seeing the homeless man down the street still screaming at imaginary enemies. It looked like a methamphetamine overdose or possibly a psychotic break. Either way, I wasn't getting involved. Driving from the business to the address felt almost like watching a documentary on the extremes of wealth in the USA. I started at slums filled with garbage and abandoned buildings, and ended up in a rich area filled with mansions and pristine dark forests. As I pulled onto the street Dennis Bauer had written down, Angel Trace Road, I marveled at just how massive and ornate some of these outhouses were. Most towered at least 4 or 5 stories overhead with swimming pools and mazes and the statues in the yards. I saw a couple riding their own personal horses down the side of the road, and I could almost smell the money pouring off them. Every house also had a gate and an intercom, and most also had security guards at the front. I went slow, seeing the security guards watching my car with squinted, suspicious eyes. Finally, I pulled up at 77 Angel Trace Road. I saw a castle looming overhead with turrets that reached 10 or 11 stories high. A security guard immediately got out of the booth and knocked on my window. I rolled it down and told him my name and business. He kept his hand near the holstered pistol at his side the entire time. Sighing, he went back into the guardhouse, and a moment later, the gate started rolling slowly to the side. I got out of the car, holding the heavy statue under one arm. I walked up the wide marble steps towards the front door. I was about to knock when I saw a note in spiky, nearly illegible handwriting taped to the mahogany door. I pulled it off, squinting. "Please come in. We will be with you in a moment." I read it, an eerie feeling coming over me. I looked back down the private road, seeing the security guard staring at me intently through the glass window of his booth. I turned and opened the door, deciding I would just go inside and wait like the note said. A rancid smell hit me as I entered the castle. It smelled like a rodent had died in the vents and began to decompose. I wondered how people with so much money could live with that fetid odor, even for a single day. I tried to breathe through my mouth, wondering how long this would take. I walked around the entrance hall, admiring the massive Persian carpets covering the floor and the statues and paintings covering the walls. I was staring at an old painting of sailors on a heaving ship at sea when I heard a creaking floorboard behind me. I jumped. "Oh, you scared me," I said, turning and then freezing in my tracks. 3 people stood there, wearing black jumpsuits and medieval plague doctor masks. All of them had long, gleaming knives in their gloved hands, silver pendants with Grim Reaper's scythes, and a slashing, diagonal line hung from each of their necks. For a long moment, no one said anything. I put my hands up, but they made no move towards me. "You can have my wallet or whatever you want," I said. "Just take it." I took my wallet out with barely $10 in the fold and threw it towards them. They didn't react, still standing like mannequins, their eerie masks giving them the look of psychotic, nightmarish birds. I tried to think fast. They blocked the front entrance, but there had to be countless doors on a place this size. I needed to get out and get help from the security guard. The 3 masked figures slowly angled their heads to the right in unison, as if I had said something interesting. I looked around, seeing a heavy wooden chair tucked into a desk a couple feet behind me. With a rush of adrenaline, I grabbed the chair and threw it at them. Without looking back, I sprinted away, going deeper into the house. hoping to find another exit on the sides or back before they caught up with me. I could only imagine the sensation of the knives going in, slicing through the skin as effortlessly as a diver through the water's surface. I ran through a pair of swinging doors into a huge, dirty kitchen with multiple ovens and countless counters and sinks. As I took in the scene, I realized the kitchen was worse than just dirty. It had evidence of atrocities and cannibalism on every surface and utensil. A human head stared at me from the counter, its eyes half closed. The tip of its tongue stuck out through blue, stiff lips. Worst of all, someone had cut the top of the skull off, and now the head had no brain. On frying pans with coagulated grease and swarms of houseflies, I saw human eyeballs, tongues, kidneys, and other organs. Some of them cooked, some not. Dishes with bones and half-eaten, cooked limbs littered other counters. I saw mice and rats scurrying away as I sprinted past, interrupting their meal in this den of nightmares. Someone stepped out from behind a large steel fridge. I ran straight into them, catching a glimpse of a black jumpsuit and a gloved leather hand as I fell. They stumbled before quickly righting themselves. They jumped on top of me, and I saw the flash of a syringe as it stabbed into my neck. I fought, kicking and punching, but waves of nausea and weakness began to run through my body, and my vision started turning black. And soon, I was no more. I came to for a few moments, seeing double and triple images blurring across my vision. I heard voices as if from very far away. I saw the night sky outside through the window, the moonlight streaming down from over the trees. "So this is the new one?" someone said in a low, robotic monotone. "Yeah, another lamb," someone responded. "We'll take some of his hair and make sure his fingerprints are on the scene. The ketamine should cause memory problems. He probably won't even know how he got there when the cops finally catch up with him. We might as well frame him for this place too," someone else said. The voices laughed. "Sure, why not? We've got to find another place soon anyway." I remember going in and out of sleep, having strange hallucinations and visions. Time and space seemed liquid. For a while, I thought the abductors were aliens, and that their plague doctor masks were the real skin on their horrible faces. As I sobered up a little, they finally put me in the driver's seat of my car on an isolated side street. I still didn't know where I was or what had happened. I could barely remember my name. I saw night had come. They left. After a while, I turned on my car and started driving. Then I saw the flashing lights behind me, and suddenly, I started feeling very sober. I tried to remember how I had gotten there, but the truth kept slipping through my fingers, the memories fading away into darkness. I gave this story to my lawyer and asked him to make sure my family received it and put it online, as a way to warn others and try to get justice. Before I did so, I slouched on the metal chair, as if a heavy weight pulled me down. The lawyer continued to speak through the round vent in the plexiglass separating us as I wrote my experiences down. "Well, they checked out that building you talked about, this Eyes Unlimited. There's no sign and no business there. No one has rented that space in years," he said. "And that castle on Angel Trace Road has no security guard. In fact, that place has been empty for years. The bank foreclosed on it and no one has bought it," I groaned. "Right now you're looking at the death penalty," he said. "The public is out for blood in this case. They're preparing over 20 counts of first-degree murder. There were a lot of people killed in horrific ways, and they only found your DNA and fingerprints at the crime scenes. But I didn't do it, I said. He shrugged. It's not about what you did or didn't do. Everything in life is power, and who has the will to use it? I felt hope drain from me as I sat there, seeing the future as just a solid wall in front of me, a wall as black and empty as an endless abyss. The end.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to one of my videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.